Hello, it's Amber, and I thought today I would bring you along for a ride on my morning routine to let you kind of see how things go here in the morning typically. There is a routine, there is things that have to happen every day. Every day is not exactly the same because weather affects so much of what we do. But every single morning, the donkeys have to be taken care of, the dogs have to be taken care of. Every day, there is some things that just have to be done every day. And this particular day, the donkeys had stayed in the barn overnight because we had had a lot of severe weather roll through. If we get a lot, most of the time they are outside, and they can come into the barn if they want to. But when we have really severe weather rolling through, I bring them in and lock them in the barn just for my peace of mind and their safety. Of course, then I worry about barn fires, but that's not terribly likely. So I bring them in, and so here I am trying to get them to go out, and they are being donkeys. Donkeys do what donkeys want to do. Wilbur got a head start there. Waylon was going to be a little more of a problem. There he goes. So I will take them out, and during the warm months, during the summer, they go back into the grass pasture back in the back. They have a lot of room back there where they can run, play, eat grass, and that is kind of their area where they go. That's their happy place. They like being back there. Now, they're not back there all the time. The majority of their time is spent in the dry lot because we do need to control their eating. We don't let them graze 24/7. We do let them go back there a couple of times a day, 2 or 3 times a day. They get to go back and graze and whatnot, but most of their time is spent on the dry lot. So we can kind of control their eating and thereby control their health. So they love going back there. They usually come in pretty good too when it's time for them to come in. There have been a couple of times when they really don't want to come in, but most of the time they come in pretty easily. And then once they're out, then it's time to get things cleaned up. So I have to clean up the manure. Yeah, fun job, huh? Actually, it's not that bad. A lot of people would turn their nose up at this and not want to do it and think it's a gross, nasty job. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. It is not difficult. It's one of those things you don't have to think about what you're doing. It's just kind of, scoop and poop. It's not rocket science, and it gives you a time to really think and reflect on how life is going and reflect on your day ahead and plan and pray. It's a great time to pray. I often during this time will be thinking about people that I know who have needs, and I will pray for them while I'm out there scooping manure. So not that they remind me of manure, but sometimes life throws us some nasty stuff and we have to deal with it. And so anyway, that's where I usually start to pray for people that I know that are having kind of a difficult time. Then we got to give the donkeys some fresh water. I give my donkeys fresh water twice a day. In the morning, and here I am using the leftover water to kind of start watering my garden a little bit. Dump that over, and then I will take them in the barn. I will scrub those out, fill them up with water, and set them back out again. So donkeys go through a lot of water, and it is very critical for their health that they have good, clean water available all the time. So that is part of my morning routine. It's also part of the evening routine. And then because they spent the night in the barn, I have a stall to clean up. So that's, again, not the most pleasant job, but not terrible. I really don't mind it. It's a matter of just getting things into a pile and cleaning it out. Mucking out the stall is not terrible either. It's okay. I really like these morning routines. Ideally, I like to get up and get out there early. Obviously, I want to get out there before the heat of the day, but I also like to get out there and really enjoy the sun coming up. That's just a beautiful time of day. It's a beautiful way to start your day. This particular day, because we had had a lot of rain come in the night before, we had a lot of fog so everything kind of got put back a little bit, but that's okay too. Everything we do here is dependent on the weather. The weather controls so much of what we do. Pretty much everything. Even making sourdough bread is dependent to a degree on the weather because temperature affects how it proofs. So yeah, the weather is so critical to everything we do here. So I have things all wrapped up in the barn. Now it's time to go outside and check on the garden. So gardening this year has been a little bit of a challenge. In the beginning, I struggled with some kind of a pest that was eating all my plants. I've never really encountered that before, but I bought some organic soil this year, and I suspect that there was some kind of a bug in that soil, and it just has given me fits this year. But things seem to be on track now. Hopefully the rest of the year will go okay with the garden. But yeah, every morning I come out, and after the donkeys are taken care of, then I check on the garden. I water it if it needs watering, prune it if I need to prune it, and just check and make sure that nothing out there really needs my attention. Gardening is one of those things that is really exciting, and it can also be really disappointing. I know back in the beginning when I first planted, my little cucumber plant sprouted and they came up and it was so exciting, and the next day I went out and something had eaten them all. And that's kind of life. I mean, life is full of highs and lows. Sometimes things are really fun and exciting, and sometimes things are just a challenge. But you know, if we just keep going and keep plowing forward, we'll be all right. I know I replanted and replanted and replanted this year, and that Bible verse came to mind: keep on sowing your seed because you don't know which of it will grow. Perhaps it all will. Right now things are going fairly well with the garden. Hopefully that will continue. But it's an ongoing thing, as is everything in life. And again, it's all dependent on the weather. That is not my dog. That is Nico. He is the neighbor's dog. He thinks he lives here, and he likes to follow me around in the mornings as I go about my chores and see what's going on over here. And then once I get all that finished, it's back up to the house where more things await. So on this particular day, I was baking bread. I do not bake bread every day. Sourdough bread takes 2 days, so one day is usually for mixing the dough and the next day is baking. This was a bake day, so got the bread baked and then settle in for some coffee. I'll go get a shower and get about the rest of my day, which will probably consist of cleaning the house, which is my least favorite thing in the world. But first, coffee. Thanks for watching. Go make it a great day.